yesterday and I said, hey, is it okay if we tag along? We heard there was good free food, so here we go. It has been such a neat thing. As Ruby was mentioning, we did back in the fall of '07 when we were getting ready to do our first national campaign, we did a training over in Falls Church, and there was, I don't know, maybe 30, 40, 50 people, I don't remember how many were there, but that tape of that training has been used in hundreds of cities now around the country, and at that point we were gearing up thinking, wow, this is going to be huge, there's going to be 89 cities doing this at once, and now we look back at just what God has accomplished over these last few years. A few different interesting things. I was just thinking as we were driving over here tonight, the beginning of this campaign, right before this 40 Days for Life started, Sean Carney and I went over for our first time to Europe, and we went to England to visit 3 of the 40 Days for Life locations over there. My daughter always frowns at me because I didn't take her with me on that trip to England. But we went to London, Birmingham, and Manchester, England, and we're just amazed at the faithfulness of the people there. And people in England were describing to us that 40 Days for Life has really resulted in almost mini revivals going on throughout those cities, and they're just in awe as thousands of people have participated. In London alone, in their last campaign, they know of 20 lives that were saved. And while we were there, one of the meetings they had set up for us, I mean, they worked us hard. It was not a sightseeing trip by any stretch of the imagination. And one of the meetings we had was with a church called Holy Trinity Brompton, which is an Anglican church there, and they're the ones who pioneered and came up with the Alpha course. You see brochures all around here, and the marriage course and the parenting courses. And so while we're there, we're meeting with some of their leadership, and they said, have you heard about this great church in the States? They're just awesome. You should get connected with them. It's called Truro Church. Yeah. And I said, oh, I've heard of that church. And so I thought that was really amusing that I had to go to England to hear somebody just talking about Truro Church. The other thing that happened right at the beginning of this campaign is I went back for the kickoff rally for this 40 days. I went back to College Station, Texas. This was our 10th National 40 Days for Life, or I guess I should say now International 40 Days for Life. And so I went back to where it all began. And it was actually in the late summer of 2004 when God birthed 40 Days for Life literally out of an hour of prayer. It was myself, Sean Carney, his wife Mary Lisa, a young woman named Emily, and as we prayed together for an hour, we were frustrated because we had an abortion facility in our town that was destroying innocent lives, just like what you have right here in Fairfax. And we felt, you know, we've tried everything we know how to do, and it just seems the abortion numbers keep going up. What do we do? What can we do that we haven't done? And that was when God gave us the idea of 40 days, was during that hour of prayer, when we went to Him instead of trying to figure it all out on our own. I think there was a great lesson for me in that. And it was during that hour that we came up with the idea of the 40 days because of the spiritual significance, and then the 3 things that we've all been doing these last 40 days. Praying and fasting, because we know that with God, all things are possible. We can't do it on our own. Secondly, the constant peaceful vigil outside of these abortion facilities, offering hope and help to the mothers, rather than the sales pitch for an abortion. They'll get inside and connecting them with ultrasounds and crisis pregnancy centers and helping them to get the real assistance they need in that difficult time. Also offering love and compassion to the workers at those facilities. Little did we know the responses we'd see there. And then the third thing that we felt led to do was community outreach, taking this idea of being the solution to the crisis of abortion to our churches and schools and community organizations, addressing the secular media, all those kinds of things. So that idea was birthed from an hour of prayer, and when I fast forward to today as we finish this campaign, I realize this is a story that only God could have written. Because we've now seen 1,861 40 Days for Life campaigns that have been conducted across 442 cities. All 50 American states have participated. We've now had 14 other countries that have joined. This campaign we had England, Ireland, Australia, Canada, Spain, Poland. Our first Polish campaign's going on. Did anybody even speak Polish? I don't. That's the Holy Spirit. You do speak Polish? All right, we're going to send you over to go be our representative of the Polish campaign. Okay, well, you speak more than me then. But just seeing that, I mean, literally, just since God began this effort, we've seen 500,000 people participate. That's astonishing. And kind of like you were saying, Ruby, when it's just you and your church, or just you out there on the sidewalk all by yourself, you're going, where's the other 499,000 people right now? But all across the world, there are people that are out there. This campaign that we just finished, there were 258 cities simultaneously participating, which is the largest spring 40 Days for Life campaign we've ever seen. That's amazing to think about, that while you were out there, people in all those 257 other cities were lifting your efforts up in their prayers as you lifted their efforts up in your prayers. And we've seen God move in such a profound way as of this morning, and we're going to keep getting reports in once the campaign officially ends tomorrow, and then usually it takes a few weeks for all the final reports to come in. We have never seen the number of lives saved in a 40 Days for Life campaign at this point already. As of this morning, 628 confirmed lives saved just during this 40 Days for Life campaign. That's all God. We have now seen, since 40 Days for Life began, over 5,600 children's lives that have been spared from abortion. We've seen a total of now 60, I keep losing track of all the numbers because they keep going up. There have now been 69 abortion workers who have had conversions, who have left their jobs. Several of them have become very outspoken pro-life advocates. You've heard the stories, I'm sure, of Abby Johnson in the book Unplanned, and there have been so many other ones like that. And we've seen 22 abortion facilities now that have closed their doors and gone out of business for good following 40 Days for Life campaigns outside their doors. 2 of those closed down during this campaign. As you were praying out here in Fairfax, 2 of Planned Parenthood abortion facilities in Iowa shut their doors forever. And the story that's so beautiful about what happened there, and this is so good,